Tonight, London Hydro launches an investigation after a cyber breach exposes customer contact and billing information.
Bad news is they're at increased risk of identity theft.
Plus, from a backyard workshop to a potential housing solution.
We started off with a concept and with a prototype on what affordable, luxury-looking modular houses could be.
The London teen building foldable homes and dreaming big. And a new historic plaque is ensuring the memories of Wonderland Gardens and the music legends who played there live on for future generations.
CTV News with Reta Ismail.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with a serious crash south of Ingersoll that has claimed the life of a 73-year-old Tillsonburg resident. The collision happened around 9 this morning on Mount Elgin Road, east of Culloden Road. Police say the vehicle left the road and collided with a concrete bridge. A passerby notified police, who shut down the road for several hours to conduct an investigation.
That was a 911 call. Obviously, emergency services responded, and as a result, he was announced deceased on scene. So that the individual suffered serious life-threatening injuries and was subsequently pronounced on scene.
In Montreal, 3 people are dead, including a police officer and a civilian. It happened early this morning after a suspect started shooting at a hotel.
It's a very, very sad day. It's a nightmare. But we have to be solid. We have to be solid for our lady police officer who survived, and we're all behind her. And well, that's it.
A second officer was also seriously injured in the shooting, but is in stable condition. The suspect, who was armed with a long gun, was killed. A second officer had serious injuries and is again in stable condition. Police say they are still trying to determine the suspect's motive, and they don't know who fired the shot that killed the civilian. In Saskatchewan, 2 RCMP officers are in hospital after being seriously injured in a shooting. It happened just after 9:30 last night in Melville. That's about 150 kilometers northeast of Regina. Police were called to a report of an assault at a home. A gun was fired as officers arrived, and 2 of them were hit. The suspect was arrested and is in custody.
Good evening. We started the day with overcast conditions and rainfall, but by the afternoon we had nice peaks of sunshine. Now there's still a few spotty showers in the area, but the trend is to clear conditions as we head through the evening. And yes, we have some beautiful weather on the way. Temperatures anywhere between 19 and 22 degrees. The warm spot, Essex County, at 23. So very light spotty showers moving through. So some of the cloud cover looking a bit ominous, but Midwestern Ontario, you are clear and lots of sunshine for your sunset this evening. Beautiful conditions. As we head toward midnight, skies will be clear. Temperature dips to 14. A great night to open up the windows. The winds out of the north let some of that nice fresh air in. Coming up, I'll take you through the extended forecast. We do have some rain on the way this week, but the weekend is looking fantastic. Rita?
Thanks so much, Julie. London Hydro customers are being advised to be aware of potential cybercrime after a data breach last week. As CTV's Brent Lill reports, while there is no direct threat, a breach of personal information could lead to potential issues.
London Hydro is investigating a data security breach after noticing suspicious activity on a customer account. They say it was used to exploit a system vulnerability which allowed access to certain information about other customers. In a statement to CTV News, London Hydro's CEO Uzni Semsadini says no banking information, government identification numbers, or other sensitive categories of personal information were impacted by this incident. Tech expert Carmi Levy says these type of breaches are becoming more common.
The good news is they're not at direct risk here. In other words, it's not like the information that was breached will allow the cyber criminals to directly break into their accounts. And that's the good news. The bad news is they're at increased risk of identity theft.
Should the breach provide other information like phone numbers and email addresses, it could lead to cyber crime.
The frightening thing about phishing emails is they look so much like legitimate emails. And so when you get an unsolicited message that looks like it comes from London Hydro or some other organization that you do business with, the first first thing that you should do is check the links. Don't engage with them. Don't follow them home. Don't click them. Don't tap them.
London Hydro says it has taken additional steps to prevent further issues and have notified customers as they continue to gather more information. Levy advises all customers to be on the lookout for suspicious activity.
The sky is not falling. Londoners are not at imminent risk of being directly attacked. However, their risk profile is higher than it has been because now more information is out there. So what they should be doing is watching their inboxes for increased outreach from cyber criminals. They will be seeing more messages, trying to get them to click on a link, trying to convince them that they are in fact from London Hydro when they absolutely are not.
London Hydro says they're currently working with law enforcement and will update customers through its website when they have more information to share. Brent Lale, CTV News.
Charges have been laid after a Sarnia business owner was defrauded out of $120,000. Police say the victim sent 3 transfers to purchase specialized equipment through a website that looked legitimate. Last week, Sarnia police executed a search warrant at a Toronto home. That's where they seized almost $45,000 in Canadian cash and 10,000 U.S. bills, along with numerous bank cards and high-end watches. A 34-year-old Toronto man was arrested and charged, and a warrant has been issued for another suspect. Under tough cross-examination, a 53-year-old man accused of murdering his 22-year-old girlfriend maintained that he was acting in self-defense the night that she died. With more on the case, here's CTV's Nick Paparella.
While testifying, 53-year-old David Yates stuck to his story that he was the one being attacked by his one-time girlfriend, 22-year-old Caitlin Jennings, after a heated argument at this home at 562 Kingsway Avenue in West London on July 3rd of 2023. Near the start of the cross-examination, Crown Attorney James Spangenberg asked, "You don't like me telling you you're the one who killed her with a hammer?" And he responded, "I don't like that perspective, the way that you put it." The Crown brought up the age gap difference of almost 30 years at the time, saying, "You're in an unbalanced relationship and you wanted control." And Yates said, "I disagree with that." Yates maintained that he was scared of Caitlin because of her bouts of violence. And Spangenberg asked, "Why did you continue with the relationship?" And he responded, "We already made plans and there was no place else to go." Yates testified that when the fight started on the night in question, he was kicked in the groin and choked out. The Crown asked, when he came to, "You could have walked down the street." And Yates said, "That option was there. I chose to walk back in the house." He maintained once inside that he only took one swing at Jennings. "I just wanted her to stop." Asked, "You could have called 911. And he said, "What was the point? I can't give you my exact thought process." 2 days after the incident, police would be called out to the home by Yates to find the lifeless and beaten body of Jennings on the living room floor. She had suffered more than 200 wounds and died from multiple blunt force trauma injuries. Yates would be arrested at the home and has pled not guilty to second-degree murder. This is the 4th day that Yates has been on the stand testifying, and while answering questions from the Crown, he takes his time and chooses his words very carefully. When pressured by the Crown about details of the fight and why he took a hammer into the bathroom to talk with Jennings, Yates would say, "I can't give you a minute-by-minute play. I wish I could." Then, when he was shown a photo of a knife in the kitchen sink, he said, "Caitlin was on the floor, and I realized what happened, and I was going to use one of those to end my life." The trial is now into its 3rd week. In St. Thomas, Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Despite having little progress to show after a 5-month extension, London's planning committee is willing to give another extension. It's for an application that would permit a 38-story building at York and Colborne. CTV's Daryl Newcomb explains.
We would anticipate that study being completed within 12 to 16 weeks.
A planning consultant on behalf of their client requesting more time to provide City Hall with a land use compatibility assessment. The study would determine if future residents of this 38-story residential tower proposed at 415 York Street would be impacted by noise, vibration, and fumes from the nearby London District Energy plant. But a lawyer for the private utility expressed surprise after receiving no response from the developer during the previous 5-month extension granted by council.
This is the first that I have heard that there has been a consultant that's been retained. And I think it's important for me to make that submission to you, because despite repeated requests to the applicant, we have had no consultation at all by the proponent.
The committee was told that finding a consultant qualified to perform a compatibility study can be difficult, and then they need to schedule time to do the work. The deputy mayor cited a letter from the Midtown Community Association that argued the project would be welcomed in the neighborhood on the underutilized property.
What I've also seen here is some genuine interest from the community, not to oppose it, but to actually be supportive of it. So I don't want to refuse this at this time. I want to give this a little bit more time.
I will not be supporting this referral at council. I don't understand why we would think that there's going to be a better effort at consultation.
The lack of a compatibility study, one of several reasons city staff recommended refusal of the application. Also on that list, the height of the building on a property outside the downtown. However, despite those staff concerns, the planning committee unanimously supported a deferral so the compatibility study can be done.
Staff would need to review that study as would affected agencies, and then it ultimately be brought back to planning committee. So our request today is a deferral until early 2027, kind of at the latest.
Council will make a final decision about the deferral at its meeting in July. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
A key affordable housing project has entered the home stretch in the Old East Village. Jerry Dewan has more on that project and the critical housing initiatives it helped champion.
A key component of the Cross-Cultural Learner Centre's mandate is finding housing for new Canadians. With the scarcity of affordable living options across the country, the CCLC came to a game-changing conclusion. If you can't find housing, build it yourself. Now that vision is becoming a reality.
1, 2, 3!
The Doorways to Dreams project will see the construction of a 24-story apartment tower with 247 1-, 2-, and 3-bedroom units. 30% will be affordable and 20% will be accessible. Today's groundbreaking included an announcement that the federal and provincial governments would combine to contribute $2.3 million for 50 affordable units through the Ontario Priorities Housing Initiative. CCLC Executive Director Valerian Marachko says similar agencies across the country are looking to follow his organization's lead.
We believe there is need for more housing supply and affordable housing in particular, and we are very proud to be part of this resolving a community need.
Earlier this year, the agency learned they could be on the hook for just over $3 million in development charges. They had to campaign to clear all DC charges. Now, development charge relief is a key strategy for accelerating new housing projects across the country.
It will be provincial and federal dollars that offset the discounts, and our expectation in my work with the development community, those discounts are passed on to people buying homes. And that's a commitment the building community has made. Frankly, they need to lower the prices to get the market moving.
Provincial Housing Minister Rob Flack is co-chair of the National Housing Forum. He says a review of funding models is underway.
I think we can do a better job of streamlining, which will help speed up approval processes, getting shovels in the ground faster, to make sure projects like Doorway to Dreams happens here right in London.
While there's still some fundraising that needs to be done, the goal is to have construction underway at this site in the fall. The executive director of the Old East Village BIA says he's proud of the multicultural mix in the OEV, and he welcomes the project, which will bring housing stability to new Canadians in the area.
For every 10 individuals or couples that come to us and say they'd like to start up a business in Old East Village, I would say between 6 and 7 are immigrants. A lot of them are newcomers. A lot have been here for maybe 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but they want to make Old East Village their home.
The CCLC has raised about $1.6 million of its $2 million fundraising goal. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
A London teenager known for his engineering ingenuity is at it again. 19-year-old Ribble Zabian says he's built a low-cost modular home, and as CTV's Brian Bicknell tells us, he's hoping it can help with Canada's affordability crisis.
And if we make our way to the top.
It's not your typical micro home. In fact, Ribble Zabian's newly designed modular home in his family's backyard in White Oaks is built with all the comforts. That includes a rooftop patio and indoors, a bed, a fold-out table, kitchen area, fireplace, and RV toilet and shower.
It's going to be exactly what would make me comfortable, right? If it needs to be humane, it has to be humane.
We first introduced you to Ribble 1 year ago when, as a high school student, he designed and built a wooden all-electric replica of a Mercedes. Now 19 and an engineering student at Western, he's turned his attention to affordable living solutions.
We started off with a concept and with a prototype on what affordable luxury-looking modular houses could be and look like.
The home is powered by a generator and equipped with a water storage membrane under the bed for regular water use. It's constructed with steel, fiberglass, and artificial stone.
It's a lightweight steel skeleton. And then there's an insulated layer.
The home is 22 by 11 feet and 10 feet high and folds for easy transport. So far, Ribble says 4 such homes have been manufactured and self-funded. He's seeking investors to produce them on a larger scale. Each home will have a price tag of about $20,000. The prototype may be located in a suburban backyard for the time being, but the goal is to get multiple units set up on a piece of land within the city, building a small community.
Potentially, when there's strong, heavy winds, heavy rain, we move it to a farm area where it could take the most abuse.
Meanwhile, the ultimate test will come as Ribble is set to reside in one of the homes himself for 1 year to make sure it's suitable for everyday living. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Students with intellectual or developmental disabilities are getting vital workplace experience during their final year of high school. CTV's Scott Miller has more on Project Search.
Gord McDougall has been spending his final year of high school at the Hanover and District Hospital, learning skills that will help him when he soon enters the real world.
I'm in the dietary doing the breakfast trays for the patients for tomorrow. I just finished doing the water in those teacups for them recently.
McDougall is one of 5 Grey Bruce students with intellectual or developmental disabilities who spent grade 12 interning at the Hanover Hospital. They've experienced every part of the facility, working in departments like dietary, maintenance, administration, lab, and pharmacy.
The program itself is essentially a transition to work program. So students in their last year of high school that have cognitive and developmental disabilities have the opportunity to gain needed skills to help them be competitive in the workplace when they're applying for jobs.
Where they started with their skills very entry level, and once they've accomplished those skills, they want more. They're hungry for it. They're hungry to learn and add to their portfolio for the future.
This is the first of a 5-year partnership with the Hanover and District Hospital. The school board is hopeful that other employers jump on board because there are more students that require workplace experience before entering the real world.
So they'll go through 3 internships over the course of a full school year, where they'll spend about 6 weeks in each internship.
One of the Project Search participants, Ash, says she's been busy during her time at the hospital.
Solve problems, stuff that are broken.
Okay. Cool.
Took out the garbage.
I learned a decent amount of things, and being around new people is one of them. To get to know them.
While the ultimate goal is to gather skills for other jobs, some of the students could end up working at the hospital in the end.
There's a couple candidates that I think would be great. There's different roles in my department that they could participate, administrative.
Year 2 of Project Search already has 6 students ready to go come September. In Hanover, Scott Miller, CTV News.
When CTV News continues, the cost of fuel is the driving force behind stubbornly increasing inflation. Plus, Ottawa's plan to double Canada's nuclear industry. Canada's inflation rate spiked up in May to 3.2%. That's the highest in 2.5 years, driven largely by the war in the Middle East and higher gas prices. Economists are grappling with what happens to inflation down the road when oil prices stabilize. CTV's John Venevali-Rao breaks down the numbers for us and the implications.
Recently, drivers have had some good news at the pump, with fuel prices plunging from their highs.
Honestly, it's awesome. I haven't filled gas in a while because it's been a bit unaffordable, but this is great.
But the latest inflation numbers showing rising food prices are continuing to take an ever bigger bite out of the budget.
Yeah, this is crazy. It definitely is frustrating, yeah.
The overall inflation number last month driven up mostly because of gas prices, which soared 33% in May amid the closure of the Strait of Hormuz.
The good news here is we know that since May, gasoline prices have dropped by about 10%. So this might represent the high water mark for inflation this year.
But Statistics Canada noting foods purchased from stores were up 4.3% year over year, the 16th straight month that it has outpaced headline inflation. Fresh fruit was up 5.3%, fresh vegetables up 9%, with notable rises seen for items like lettuce, broccoli, and cauliflower.
No wonder people go for junk food instead. So it's crazy expensive for produce.
And tomatoes surging up 45%, in part because of poor weather in Mexico and fewer of them being grown there over concerns about U.S. tariffs, with the Conservative leader seizing on the food inflation data.
Today we learned that Mark Carney has given Canada the worst food price inflation in the G7.
Prices for air travel also rising more than 7% as airlines coped with higher jet fuel costs. And as more AI data centers get built, it's been driving up demand for things like memory and solid-state drives, in part resulting in a 3.9% year-over-year increase in the price of computer equipment, software, and supply.
Meanwhile, economists say even with the relief at the pumps, inflation could run close to 3% for the next few months. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
As Ontario and Bruce County embark on nuclear energy expansion, the country as a whole is now betting big on nuclear. CTV's Graham Richardson reports.
They are complex and expensive, but also steady workhorses of electricity in Canada, nuclear reactors. The government announcing today they want an aggressive strategy to boost Canada's nuclear output.
We are writing the next chapter in one of Canada's greatest industrial success stories.
The plan, build up to 10 new reactors. Right now, 90,000 people work in the industry. They want to double that in the next decade and enter 4 international markets by 2040.
If our goal is to double our grid and reach net zero by 2050, there is no credible plan for Canada to do that without nuclear energy.
All those new reactors will need more uranium. NextGen's deposit of uranium in northern Saskatchewan at the Athabasca Basin is one of the world's largest. The company will build a mine here and partner with First Nations and Métis people.
It's a very exciting time. We're players now in that space, and it's a good future to look at in regards to where nuclear energy is going.
All of this new generation will create more waste. Eventually, it will come here. The tiny town of Ignace in northwestern Ontario will be the site of a massive nuclear waste facility. The mayor says that has already benefited her town.
I've always said this is our future, and it's not just our future as in our Ignace and Wabigoon. It's Canada's future.
The Prime Minister was not involved in this strategy because of previous connections to companies that work in the nuclear space. The Prime Minister's office, when asked, would not tell us the names of those companies. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
Meteorologist Julie Atchison is here with our full weather forecast. Now, Julie, yesterday was a beautiful day and this evening is nice, but like you said earlier, today was a bit rocky and Saturday wasn't the greatest.
Before we get to the weather, it's fun being back at the desk with you, though.
It is,
it's
just like
been a while,
times.
right? Yes, but the weather has been a little bit of a roller coaster. We had some big storms over the weekend as well, and one of our viewers sent in this video. Reta, check it out. So that was taken in northwest London on a Saturday afternoon, and I saw a number of pictures of some intense hail and some big storms rolling through, dropping a lot of rainfall. So that just gives you an idea of just how much hail associated with that storm. Now our high today, 22 degrees. We didn't see any big storms today, but we did start the day with rainfall, ending it with some sunshine out there this evening, but temperatures on the cooler side of what's normal. We officially welcome the summer season, and temperatures will start to feel more summer-like as we head through the week. Out there this evening, anywhere between 18 and 23 degrees in London at the airport on the hour, sitting at 21. The rainfall with that compact low pressure system off to the south is now moving off to the east and continuing off to the south of us, but you can see the cloud shield really starting to erode as that dry air makes the move. We have some rain and thunderstorms with a thunderstorm watch in effect and through parts of southern Quebec. Other than that, northern Ontario still dealing with a bit of shower activity this evening, although high pressure will start to build in and shut that down. There's some active weather across the prairies. A low pressure area spinning is generating showers and thunderstorms tonight in through parts of southern Alberta. Alberta hammered this weekend with some intense rainfall. Edmonton picking up upwards of 100 millimeters of rain. There was localized flooding, so we have had some active weather across the country. Now temperatures looking quite cool from coast to coast, so this is a bit below normal, feeling more spring-like than summer, with the exception in through the interior of British Columbia and coastal areas. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 20s. We are going to get there this week, but tonight cool and fresh overnight. If you can, open up those windows and let that beautiful northerly breeze in. Skies will be clear overnight, and we will start your Tuesday with lots of sunshine. Forecast model will keep us in the clear through the day Tuesday. It'll be as we head into Wednesday where we will start to see a bit of cloud cover. Wednesday late afternoon, we have the chance for showers into Wednesday evening and the possibility of a few thunderstorms as we roll into your Thursday. So Tuesday looking good, sunshine, a beautiful start to the day. If you're an early morning walker, it'll be fresh first thing in the morning. Temperature will climb to 23 in the afternoon, and the winds out of the northwest 20 with gusts to 40. Now with those gusty winds out of the northwest, that'll keep the lakeshore communities quite cool, especially Grand Bend, Port Elgin, Sauble Beach area. That wind coming off the lake will keep things cooler as you head a bit inland. Temperatures on the warmer side. So sunshine Tuesday, Wednesday, mix of sun and cloud Wednesday night. The clouds come in and we have some rain in the forecast, and we could see a shower kickoff Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, showers with the risk of thunderstorms and 25 degrees. And then the weekend, friends, look at this. Mix of sun and cloud Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Daytime highs from 24 to 27. And we could see a few showers on Monday. Midwestern Ontario, your forecast, a bit more in the way of sunshine over the next couple of days. You won't see as much cloud cover as we head into Wednesday. You should be full sun in the morning, a mix in the afternoon. Just a chance for an afternoon shower, night rain. Thursday, the area of low pressure moves right over the Great Lakes. We'll pick up some rainfall and the possibility of thunderstorms. And then as we usher out June with the last weekend of June, Reta, we're expecting a mix of sun and cloud Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. I know this will be a big week for many elementary and high school kids in the area as they say goodbye to school. We have some great conditions, especially as we head towards the weekend, and a nice way to kick off some summer fun.
Certainly, Julie, my kids are done school Friday, so I'm sure they'll appreciate the nice weekend weather. Thanks so much. When we return, Canada's trade team arrives in Tokyo seeking to expand trade and security relationships.
You can have your say right now on our website on who is opening up Pure Country Night for Rock the Park.
Yes, it's Pure Country's Rising Star Contest. Head on over to purecountry93.ca to cast your vote.
Unifor, which represents more than 19,000 Canadian automakers, has begun negotiations with the Detroit 3 automakers. The talks are being held in Toronto. Unifor is holding meetings with Ford first, followed by talks with Stellantis and General Motors. The Unifor national president has described the talks as one of the most consequential rounds of auto negotiations the union has ever faced. The current collective agreements are set to expire on September 20th. Now, Ford is recalling more than 16,000 Expedition models in Canada over a possible safety risk. The recall affects vehicles from 2018 to 2024 model years. It says on certain vehicles, the chrome plating on the center console could bubble and peel, and sharp edges can form. The company says owners will be notified. Ford has recalled another 500,000 vehicles in the U.S. for a similar issue. The electric vehicle market continues to grow, the latest being Chinese EVs making their way into Canada. Fresh off a trip to China, the industry's minister is in Japan, pushing for even more EVs for the Canadian market. Judy Trin is in Tokyo with the details.
While in China, the industry minister met with electric vehicle makers BYD, Chery, Geely, and Shanghai Launch. The companies want more access to the Canadian market, so Melanie Joly pitched manufacturing the vehicles in Canada.
There's a reckoning in the auto sector that you have to build where you sell. And so based on that, these are the conditions to enter a market.
Joly said she was clear that the operations had to be joint ventures, abide by Canadian labor standards, use Canadian parts, and protect user data. Right now, only 49,000 Chinese EVs are allowed into Canada, but there's concern from Japanese automakers.
Chinese vehicle is very nice. Exterior, interior technology is amazing, and also very good price. So I think it's very difficult for us to fight.
2 months ago, Honda halted a planned expansion in Alliston, Ontario to make EVs. The company's Canadian president, Dave Jamieson, blamed U.S. tariff exposure, but also rising competition from low-cost, state-subsidized, non-market-oriented producers.
We're not putting any business in jeopardy. I reject that premise. We are offering the best technologies to Canadians while protecting 500,000 auto workers. And so we want to make sure that we increase the manufacturing footprint of Canada.
Joly did meet with Honda officials while in Japan. During the interview, she hinted that good news is coming for the company's plant in Alliston, Ontario, but she didn't elaborate when asked if a shelved expansion was going ahead. Judy Trin, CTV News, Tokyo.
Strength in the financial and utility sectors helped Canada's main stock index today. In Toronto, the TSX gained 145 points, and in New York, the Dow added 148, but the Nasdaq dropped 351. The Canadian dollar is up a very modest 0.04 and on commodity markets, gold fell more than $43 an ounce, and oil is down $2 a barrel. Coming up on CTV News, the British Prime Minister calls it quits and the potential impact on global politics. Welcome back. Edmonton's residents are now being told to stop non-essential water use as the city's stormwater systems struggle to keep up with all the rain that's been falling.
And it's coming directly from the storm pond.
Alberta Emergency Alert has issued an overland flood advisory for the city of Edmonton. The city and several surrounding regions have been overwhelmed by rain from an intense weather system that hit central and northern Alberta over the weekend. Downtown Edmonton has seen 95 millimeters of rain. There have been 600 calls for concerns about pooling and flooding. A highway closure and air quality warning triggered by an out-of-control wildfire remains in effect in Lytton, BC. The Saw Creek wildfire erupted late last week and prompted evacuation alerts for residents in the area. Now, the air quality warning covers the southern part of the Fraser Canyon in BC between Lytton and Dogwood Valley. Residents are urged to reduce time spent outdoors until the warning has ended. Speaking in BC this morning, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre blamed the policies of the Carney government for Canada's economic situation.
It's time for Mark Carney to stop making excuses for the fact that he has created the only recession in the G7, the only food price inflation that is this high in the G7. If it were really global factors, then why is it that no other G7 country is in recession? No other G7 country is paying the food inflation that Canadians are forced to pay. The answer is that the Carney Liberals continue inflationary policies that drive up costs here at home. We need to reverse those policies and make Canada affordable.
The Conservatives recommend opening up real competition so grocers have to fight for customers by driving prices down. They are also pushing to get rid of the industrial carbon tax that raises the cost of farming and food processing and unblocking Canada's resources. Alberta is working to position itself as a hub for artificial intelligence data centers by touting its abundant supply of fossil fuels. However, that's led to debate in communities across the province over whether they want the centers at all. CTV's Kathy Lee reports.
In the town of Olds, a proposed $10 billion AI data center has sparked a battle on front lawns. Beck McIntosh is doing all she can to keep it out of her community.
The safety concerns are excessive.
Synapse, the developer behind the massive development planned for the east side of town on this piece of land, would also build its own natural gas power plant.
What we're facing is the same power generation as what facilitates all of Edmonton. We need to be prioritizing at least residential properties and communities.
The pitch is just one of many projects across Alberta as the province vies for the lion's share of Canada's AI data center boom.
It's about 90% of the total capacity will be going to Alberta.
This economist says the province has several advantages.
Somewhere you can have water that doesn't have a climate that's too hot, cheap electricity, and data connectivity.
It's one of the reasons Premier Danielle Smith this week dug in on natural gas as the backbone of Canada's AI ambitions.
Natural gas is going to be foundational to underpinning the growth in data center development, and we're sitting on an ocean of it.
But the same resource drawing developers is also raising questions about whether Canada can meet its long-term climate goals.
What we're really concerned about is both the impacts on emissions and, our emissions goals over the next 25 years.
From emissions to community impacts, the proposed development is facing questions on multiple fronts. Synapse says compliance and safety are its primary focus, and the project is expected to create thousands of permanent and temporary jobs. It's the kind of investment the mayor of Olds believes could transform the community.
It's a positive outcome as far as economic development for the town.
The project remains under review as regulators seek more information from Synapse.
I'm really confident it's not going to be able to proceed.
But until a decision is made, McIntosh says this front lawn will remain her billboard of opposition. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Olds, Alberta.
Tomorrow, a new report going to Elgin County Council will discuss the health and safety risk of allowing people to bring their own alcohol to outdoor public events. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News.
Thank you so much to Nancy Johansson for sending this photograph in, captured on a beautiful Lake Huron. This was taken on the first day of summer. As we head into your Tuesday, beautiful conditions. The next opportunity for rain will move in Wednesday night. Political upheaval in the United Kingdom with the resignation of Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the nation's 7th leader in the past decade. He is stepping down over the unpopularity of his domestic policies and his decision-making. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more on who will throw their hat in the ring.
A week ago, the British Prime Minister insisted he'd fight any challenge to his leadership. But today, he announced he's stepping down.
Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party.
Keir Starmer's fall started when his judgment was questioned for appointing Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the U.S., despite his links to child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Then came local and regional election losses in May. Observers say it wasn't about the party, it was about the leader.
I think what was lacking was an ability to deliver that sense of political confidence and direction and mission.
Prime Minister Mark Carney praised Starmer's leadership in the coalition of the willing for Ukraine and the reinforcement of NATO.
He's helped build the historic partnership between Canada and the United Kingdom. He's someone who's always acted with integrity, with determination, with collaboration. and I consider him a friend.
Starmer's departure means the UK has had 6 prime ministers over the last decade. One of them, Liz Truss, served for just 50 days. While Starmer will stay on until his successor is chosen, it's widely expected that will be former Mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham.
Praising the Prime Minister's dedication, service, and confirm that I will put myself forward in the process that will soon be underway.
The far-right party Reform UK is currently leading in the polls, and its leader believes instead of a leadership contest, there should be a general election.
If the next Prime Minister is the new MP for Makerfield, Andy Burnham, he didn't even stand at the last election on any manifesto at all.
If Burnham is unchallenged for the Labour Party's top job, he could become leader and UK Prime Minister by mid-July. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Mediators in talks between the U.S. and Iran say there has been encouraging progress. Today, the U.S. Vice President said Iran has agreed to invite international nuclear inspectors back into the country.
That is a major milestone for the American people and the first step in permanently denuclearizing or permanently ending a nuclear weapons program in Iran. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. That's exactly what we asked to happen. We made a lot of great progress on other nuclear talks.
Iran's prime minister says sanctions on his country's oil have been waived and some of its frozen assets were released. In a joint statement, Qatar and Pakistan say a high-level committee has agreed to a roadmap for reaching a final deal in 60 days. Going out dancing may be a common event for some young people, but for those with disabilities of any kind, those opportunities may be rare. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan has more on an upcoming event that includes everyone.
Inclusive, hosted by Substance Cares, is billed as the world's first indoor-outdoor party for all people with disabilities.
Really, it's just an event for people of all abilities, really, to come out and feel like they've been welcome and that there's an opportunity for them to experience the same experience many of us have every weekend.
What I love about dance and movement is that I'm really creative with my dance moves.
Jessica Rotolo has been coming to the event, formerly known as Danceable, for 3 years, along with her friend Lauren Abella, who says inclusive is unique.
It's completely different because of the support that's available and because it's all friends and everything's free. So it really makes it inclusive for everyone, regardless of their abilities, regardless of their financial situation.
This is the event's 10th anniversary.
And we have so many great performers and vendors that are joining us this year. Medusa Entertainment's got a lot of acrobatic and theatrical sort of production happening. Dramaway is going to be doing some stuff, and again, Bam Dance will be here performing as well.
Some of the accommodations include accessible washrooms, a special room for changing, and a sensory room. Its low-key atmosphere has reduced sound and lighting. The event is June 29th at Cabana with free tickets, free food, and even free parking.
From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., it does not conflict with any World Cup events happening in the city or elsewhere.
Everyone's happy to be here, so you can expect to be on your feet dancing, and if you need a break, there's chairs everywhere. You need a drink, unlimited beverages, cute bartenders, so I just think that it's a really fun time, and everyone is welcome, regardless if you're a parent, a sibling, a friend.
Don't be shy. Be yourself and don't be afraid to meet new people.
And she says come prepared to dance and have a great time. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The City of London, along with the London Public Library, have unveiled a new historic sign in Springbank Park. As CTV's Brent Lale tells us, it celebrates the history of Wonderland Gardens.
A big band fittingly kicks off the summer concert series at historic Springbank Gardens.
This particular venue has great acoustics and always a great audience. I do remember playing here when the old Wonderland Gardens was here back in the 60s and 70s, and I played here with the Lionel Thornton Band.
Wonderland Gardens opened in 1935 and was home to huge names in music until its closure in 2004.
This is hallowed ground for London musicians, going right back to the 1930s.
The City of London and the London Public Library Historic Sites Committee are now recognizing its history with a plaque along the parkway.
What a treat it was to attend high school during the week and then come here on the weekend and rub shoulders with the likes of Frank Zappa, Deep Purple, Mitch Ryder, and the Detroit Wheels. Wow. You know, when I tell people that I did that, they go, come on. That's it. It happened.
For 70 years, Wonderland Gardens was operated by the Jones family.
I'm sure Dad and my uncle are watching from above.
For 4 decades, Don and Chuck Jones's father brought some of the biggest bands. When the pair took over the business in the 70s, they pivoted to rock concerts.
Brought Alice Cooper and Frank Zappa and Deep Purple, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. We had lots of entertainment here.
The City of London took over the lease in 2004. Then a year later, fire destroyed most of the original grounds. Sunday was the first time Don Jones had returned to the site in more than 20 years.
I don't want to go back. And when that fire happened a long time ago, and then they rebuilt this pavilion, and then when Chuck said, you know, they want to put this plaque together, it's special to the family, there's no question.
Rebuilt in 2008, it's now home to many events.
This is a site that has so much meaning for so many Londoners, whether they were swimming here, whether they've enjoyed an amazing concert here, or lately, whether they're at one of the many walks, runs, or community gatherings that happen in this place. It continues to be a special place in our city.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
And that's it for us tonight. For your latest local updates, you can always head to our website. Our next newscast is at 11. From all of us here at CTV News London, thanks for watching and have a great night.